So I got a lot of comments on my previous video about doctor unemployment. Majority of them have been political, some offensive, and there have been some questions that have been repeated over and over again. So in this video, I'll go through commonly asked questions, which I will go through since it'll be easier than going through all 1,000 questions and replying individually one by one. So number one, why don't doctors do private practice if they're unemployed? Well, unfortunately, resident doctors can't do private practice because they're still in training and they need to complete that training to become a consultant or a GP. For GPs to open private practices, they need to have capital first. So they need to have a lot of money to set up a place to do their GP work, staffing, and a tax requirement, as well as paying themselves a decent salary. And that may not happen overnight. They may be in a income loss or a deficit, which they need to cover in the first few months. And especially when you have completed training, doctors may not have that capital for this initially. And if doctors want to work with private companies such as Bupa or Spire, these are also getting competitive. And sometimes some private companies want a few years experience first as a GP or a consultant, and then you can start working with a private company. And also some private companies want the doctor working in NHS as well as doing part-time private work. But of course, this really depends on the specialty that you're in. Since I'm a resident doctor, I have little information on private practice, but a good resource is actually reading the BMA, and a good podcast to listen to is Medic's Money. Then there is locum. These are like private gig opportunities, but again, these are also very competitive. I heard there were like 16 applications for one half-day shift on one locum opportunity for GPs. Also, some locum shifts are drying out for resident doctors, but there are still some for availability. But I understand that some locum shifts are not paying doctors enough, and sometimes these locum shifts are just not worth it. Another question which kept on coming again and again, why don't doctors move abroad? So yes, a lot of doctors from the UK are actually moving abroad, such as Australia, New Zealand, UAE, and sometimes the US, not only for getting work, but also better pay, but generally work conditions and lifestyle. But majority of doctors don't want to move because of course their family, friends and life are in the UK. Another question that had been asked, does training actually take that long in the UK? So yes, the UK is well known for the training to take a long time, absolutely ages or many years until you become a specialist or GP compared to the US, Canada or Australian counterparts. But in the UK, medicine is not a postgraduate degree, i.e. you can go straight into the course without doing another degree beforehand. But when you do graduate, there is a long process and training route to become a specialist consultant or a GP. And then before, I keep on seeing these comments where AI are good to take doctor jobs. Honestly, I actually know doctors are using AI right now to streamline their admin work and workflow. And in dermatology, we actually use AI to triage skin lesions. But AI is not clever yet to fully diagnose a person, give a practical management plan, and perform practical surgeries or perform practical procedures. And this will probably take a very long time for it to reach that stage, but this could be a video for another time. And if you're wondering where these questions came from because you randomly clicked on this video, you may want to check out my previous video on why doctors are unemployed. Thank you. Bye.